Well, this is definitely something I never thought I would be doing for a suggestion, but well, actually, no, there are a couple of animes I kind of figured I might be suggesting in the future, but I've already done videos on them. Excuse me, in one of my about videos, but I might have to do those again for a suggestion. And I would be recommending an anime that I just saw the first 5 episodes. No, I think it was actually four. I kind of called it quits at five, but it's called Monster. Now, I was on Discord with well, I like to consider him a friend, a buddy, the Osteophile. Interesting guy to talk to. I know nothing about the Finnish or the people from Finland. Like, I never hear anything from that part of the world. Well, I heard one story. I heard of a guy who wife cheated on him, became pregnant with another man's child, and he has to pay child support for that bastard. That there was that and the White Death, a badass sniper from Finland who took out, like, I can't remember. I want to say it was somewhere in the hundreds. Like, he was the original no scoper. I think his name was Simo Hayer. Like, he was known as White Death, one of the most infamous snipers in the world of war. But anyway, I'm digressing. I was on Discord with him, and hopefully he doesn't mind me talking about this. But we were watching an anime called Monster, and it's kind of interesting. Like, I need to find. I might just have to get my hands on some manga issues of it because I prefer having or the DVD or a DVD of the dub anime because I love having physical copies of stuff. Like, it drives me nuts not to have a physical copy now. I blame Raging Golden Eagle for this to a certain degree, but at the same time, I'm kind of almost grateful. But anyway, again, I'm digressing. This anime was interesting. It's set in Germany. It starts in 1980. Actually, one second. 1986. It begins in 1986, and then there's a brief time skip during the first 4 episodes. There's a time skip in one of the episodes to the next nine years later, and it follows two people. Well, actually, no, it follows mainly a surgeon, a brilliant surgeon who basically commits career seppuku. No pun intended, because the guy's actually Japanese. But to save a boy. This boy's name is Johann Lieber. Oh, this is not his real name. He was actually adopted. Spoiler alert for those of you who had seen it. But and here's the fucked up part. Actually, a spoiler alert. Actually, no, I think I probably won't do spoilers. 9 years later, there's a serial killer on the loose, and the surgeon, the good doctor, has a connection to this serial killer, and the serial killer actually has a connection to the Lieber boy he saved, and the incident where the Lieber family was massacred except for the two children. And to put it bluntly, the serial killer is basically the surgeon's Frankenstein's monster. Like, he kind of, in essence, can indirectly be held responsible for, well, not held responsible, but he is kind of responsible for some of the deaths that the serial killer causes, and he has to live with it. And from what I've heard, like, the first time I heard about this, well, not the first time, but after the Osteophile brought up, who, by the way, is an interesting guy to talk with. I don't know if I've said this already, but if you can, follow him on Twitter and just interact with him in general. Like, he is interesting. I don't know if his personality will turn you off or not, but I find his personality kind of interesting and his mind. But yeah, give him a check out if you can. He also has a YouTube channel. But anyway, and the doctor becomes the prime suspect in this in the murders and also the disappearance of the two twins who disappeared after he saved the boy's life. The sister was kind of almost catatonic, like she wasn't responding well to a lot of outside stimuli. And there are a lot of surgical words in here I can understand, so if you don't know what these words are, you might end up looking up some definitions while you're watching this stuff. But anyway. And when I first heard about this from him, I think the Osteophile described it as being like one of the themes of it can be nihilism. And nihilism is an effed up ideology. I'll say that up front. Like, I used to be a nihilist. Well, not used to be. I was kind of like in between. Like, I was interested in dabbling in it to use it in a story, and I kind of fell into the abyss after that. And then the abyss started looking back at me. But anyway, it's messed up. It's like nothing is sacred, nothing is valuable. It's denial of responsibility, which you do see in this. Like people throughout the 4 episodes I saw, they kept denying responsibility. It's a very dark tone, I would say. And I want to say it was made in the early 2000s, either that or the 90s. Okay, it ran from April something of 2004 to September of 2005. I forget the exact dates. I had to look it up, and I forgot after I came on here. But it ran for that long, and it has, I believe, 70-something episodes, which is kind of interesting because most animes I watch, they don't have a lot of episodes in one season. It's usually like either 12 or somewhere after 10 or 20-something. That's the limit usually, and they don't always get and you never get a complete story usually. It's just like you get the first season and it's a one and done. But this one I guess is different. It kind of shows, like if you see anime from the 90s or the early 2000s, it usually looks pretty good. This definitely is reminiscent of that. I missed the anime. Well, not missed because I wasn't paying attention to it that much of the time, because after like 2008 and 9, I kind of fell out of anime for a while. Didn't get back to it till 2018. So a 10-year gap. And, well, as you know, I would check up on certain mangas for updates, but that was about it. But anyway, and it shows. It definitely shows that this is from a superior time in anime. Because, like, I see anime now, the quality is good, but at the same time, it's kind of not. And I mean, like, modern anime. Like, the anime that this is dubbed of, no, it's not inferior. It is good. It is highly recommended. So far, I'm giving it a 7.9 or an 8 out of 10. Like, I'm going to probably watch the rest of it myself. Either that or just buy the mangas for it, one of the two. Just add it to my collection. But I do highly recommend it. It looks good. The themes are dark, and I like that. That's one of the things I like about Goblin Slayer and Shield Hero. It touches on stuff that's pretty dark. The beginning of it's kind of depressing because this guy starts out with a fiance. He's a head surgeon. Then by episode, I believe 2, he loses all of that, and then his fiance turns out to be a bitch. Begone thought. But yeah, there's that, and I think by episode 3, a lot of the people who had screwed him over either died or they had lost someone. I'll leave it at that. And I said before on the Discord, and I'll say it again: is it wrong that I took extreme pleasure in that? Because these were horrible people, and I think they got what they deserved. Then again, that is me. I can sometimes be a messed up individual. Like you can ask. I would say Marcus, but I don't think you can find him unless you're in that Discord room. I say messed up stuff all the time. Like one time, someone asked me, "What would my going rate be if I was to pay them to make a work of art on DeviantArt?" I'd be like 99 cents. They all got a laugh at that. But anyway, it's definitely an interesting anime. It's, again, the style feels like something that's lost from a previous decade. It shows from the period it was made in. It's an interesting setting. Most anime now is either set in high school or just a fantasy world. That's about it. From the ones I see, anyway. Like, I'm kind of getting sick of that also. Like, I want them to make something unique again. Like the exceptions to this is probably Goblin Slayer and Shield Hero. But yeah, we need more of this. And it feels like a period piece almost. Like a noir period piece. Because it's set in it kind of starts in the 80s. Then time skip, it goes into the 90s. And it's this, I would say noir type, because that was something that was brought up by, I believe, Full Trooper or someone, and then Osteophile said it aloud, and he kind of agreed. Like, I've only seen one noir thing in my entire life, so I can't really comment, but it does kind of have that feel, like kind of a detective story mixed with, like, a period piece. Like, I would like more like that. I would like something like Monster and Vinland Saga, where it's set in the past, and it's historical fiction. I would like more of that, to be perfectly honest. It would be pretty cool. Downside, depending on what you said, and the wiki can be a very damaging spoiler to it. And by I mean like in period pieces in general, like not into the actual anime. That, as far as I know, none of this actually happened. It's just a noir set in the 80s and 90s. And most of it, I think, is supposed to be in the 90s. It's just like a couple episodes are in the 80s. But that is it. Something else I would say, this also kind of has a careful what you wish for moment. Which I like. I like it when people wish for something, it comes true, and they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't. What? How could this happen?" It's like you wanted this to happen. I mean, granted, the doctor was angry when he said that aloud, but that was him. It also has kind of like an uplifting side to it, like the surgeon doctor, because of this boy he saved from dying, and he hoped made a full recovery. He had learned to value life a little bit more, and then that kind of comes back to haunt him later, and mess with him a little. Again, I can't say further, one, because I don't want to spoil it, but also I've only seen the first 4 episodes. And I just want to do this video on it and say, you know what? This needs to be recommended. This is too good. This is definitely unique for me, because I like anime in general, like the Audiophile, he's not as much of an anime fan, but this one kind of stands out because he recommends it, and coming from him, that's actually pretty high praise. And there's not much else I can really say except, I would say you would probably need a strong stomach for this, but that may not be the case depending on the content you're into. But yeah, it's definitely an investigation type story mixed with historical fiction. Or at the very least, the setting is definitely in the past, and some of you some who see this video will probably be old enough to remember this point in history. Like it's set like it starts before the Berlin Wall went split-ski. Then time skip is after it went split-ski. And that's all. That's probably everything else I want to say about this without divulging into spoilers. Like, I think if you're good at reading between the lines, you'll get what I'm hinting at here. But that's all I wanted to say. It's a really interesting looking anime. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, and yeah, just give it a chance. Is all I'm saying. Like, give it a shot. And that's it. Have a nice day, and remember, the game was rigged from the start.